we go. We are live from a really rainy Hamilton. I keep looking at the window out there. Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and a 3,000 degree, I'm jealous, North Carolina. Ryzak goes, 80 degrees. I think my family, we're going to go sit on a patio.
Yes, we did.
As always,
it's a really cool area.
As always, this is episode number 7, brought to you by Wondershare. If you want to step up your video, you want to take all of your gaming clips and you want to pull them in and do some awesome crap with them, Filmora is the way to go. Use the link in the description. Mr. Ryzak, how is the 80-degree North Carolina?
Green. It's very green right now. A lot of pollen, but it's better than the alternative, I guess, right? So
we're in season number 2 for 2023. Canada has 4 seasons. We, of course, have the summer. We, of course, have the winter, a fall, winter, and then we've just got slush and crap, and that's all that's outside right now. Snow, mud. That's all we got.
Man, I went up to Niagara Falls and Toronto around July, and it was gorgeous. So
that's one of our good seasons.
Yeah.
That's what, you didn't hit the humidity, the big wall of humidity.
No, man. It was.
You're lucky.
It was like July 3rd because we went for July 4th. We went for Independence Day.
You know that's not a thing here. You know that's not a thing here. You know that's just.
I know. Day, right? Hear me out. We went for Independence Day to watch the fireworks at Niagara Falls, but we went to the Canadian side to watch them.
Better view.
It's the better view.
And less people. Because it was just a work day. Yeah, it's just a work day for us. You know, we just
there were a lot of people. I will say, but I don't think we had to wait very long for things because it's so spread out. You know, I mean, you can either go down in the tunnels or you can go on the Maid of the Mist or the whistleblower, whatever it is. What is it called?
All the tourist traps. I don't know. I haven't been there in years.
Yeah, and then you can go down to the other end and watch the rapids. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I found that part to be fascinating. You know, I don't know. I get weird.
Did you get in a barrel and go over? That's the big thing.
I did not. I thought about it. But value my life.
It's the big thing.
What have you been up to, Jeffy?
Oh, why can't I get the chat open? There we go. Coffee's ready for David. That's that good. I gave him an hour's notice because it takes him an hour to make coffee. Well, what have I been doing? Nothing. Just gaming.
The finer things.
I started, got rid of Gun, moved on from that, started Ghost Recon last night. Took me about 90 minutes to figure out what the hell I was doing, but now I'm smoking, so the last 45 minutes or so. So next week, we're going to do it again. I did complete the first task.
You're playing that on GameCube?
I am.
Okay, all right.
I am.
Nice.
And then, next weekend, then the weekend after that's going to be Easter. So
awesome.
So other than that, and watching March Madness, no number ones left. There's been some great games both on the men's and women's brackets. We're going to talk more about that later. Folks, that's what we in the biz call show foreshadowing.
We're good at it.
And then, it's been crazy. We got XFL, we got IFL. This weekend, baseball is starting. MLB 23, the show is coming. I'll be kicking that.
And some baseball just ended, so there's that. I don't know what's going on with my hair today. I feel like Ace Ventura in like the second one, where he's like, I don't know.
You got to grow it long.
I'm going with it. You
got to grow it long. Got to get that.
That's where I'm going, Jeff. I'm going there.
That's what you need. Coffee's brewing, David. David, I gave you an hour notice. You have an hour notice, buddy. You should have started brewing an hour ago. Show will be over by the time you finish brewing.
Well,
all right. So what's up first?
We want to get started here. Let me share that for you. And there you go. Up first this week, we have none other than the World Baseball Classic, and that wasn't supposed to pop up like that, but there you go. This was the stage, Jeff. It's every kid's dream. Well, top of the ninth in this case. Top of the ninth, 3-2 count, 2 outs. Yep. You've got Shohei Ohtani against his teammate Mike Trout, and he strikes him out.
Yes.
Strikes him out cold. It was a nasty slider.
That is correct.
World Baseball Classic is cool. You know, it's kind of set up like the World Cup if you follow the World Cup in soccer. So there's pool play first. So all of these teams, these 20 teams, went through the pool play. You can see there were 2 undefeateds there in the pool play, which was Japan and Venezuela. The U.S. actually lost a game. They lost to Mexico. Is that who they lost to?
I believe so, because we lost to Mexico too.
Yeah, and you guys had beaten Mexico,
we would have gone to play to Miami.
Through. Mm-hmm. Yep. So it was very cool. There was a lot of stuff going on. The Puerto Rico win where they lost their closer in the celebration, and you had a lot of really young guys that started making names for themselves throughout this. Probably got themselves some deals. So it's very, very cool. After the pool play, they go into the bracket rounds, and so that undefeated Venezuela team lost to the U.S. And then Japan pushed all the way through and then ultimately wound up winning. So Japan didn't lose one game. That's pretty cool. And that's the second time they've won it since – when was the last time they won, Jeff? Was it like 2005 or something?
Yeah, it hasn't been around all that long. They do it every 4 years. So, but then it hasn't been around the last few years because of COVID. So now they're back on track. So
Yeah. It's always interesting when these types of things come up because this is right before the Major League Baseball season. And sometimes the Olympics will stop during the season so that, these professional players can go play. And you wonder what that's going to do to them throughout the season that they haven't even started yet. Because this is just even more baseball that they just had to play. Baseball is probably not the most taxing sport, but I found it interesting that afterwards.
For
a pitcher, maybe? For sure. For sure. Okay. Yeah.
But you know what? That's why they're professionals. So.
I found it interesting that Conor McGregor, who's probably the best player in the NHL, afterwards came out after Ohtani struck out Trout, and he was like, "This is what we need. We need the best of the best versus the best in every sport. This is what we crave." And I just thought that was really cool.
And going into the game, that's what we all in the sports world wanted. We wanted these 2 at the end.
Yep.
This is what we wanted. We wanted these 2. Would have been nicer if it was bottom of the 9th. Bases loaded and. That would have been better, but you know what? We play the hands we get, and
So
my dad watched a lot of this, even watched non-Canadian games.
Do you think it was scripted?
Of course, it's not sports.
Oh, thank you, Arian Foster.
Passing Mike Trout some money under the table.
Oh,
because they're hurt. The 2 of them are hurting for cash.
Yeah, so cool, so cool. Even if it was scripted, very cool. That's like a kid's dream. So
my dad. World Baseball Classic. My dad didn't know a lot about it because he never really watched the sports before he moved into the residence, and so he's been really diving more into the sports. So I had to educate him on how this works, and that he had never really watched it before, but now he's got a lot of time and he watches a lot of sports now. So
I don't know. I've just always been a part of sports. I've always, through coaching and stuff, trying to use them to help build character in youth and things like that. So, I don't know. I've just always been a sports guy, and I've gotten away from liking, the teams as much. I mean, I still root for the Hurricanes because they're local, and my son's playing hockey and stuff. But
didn't they lose to the?
I like watching players. I like rooting for players.
Lose to the Maple Leafs last week? What? Sorry?
Oh, come on, Jeff. Come on.
What?
They're the second team to clinch a postseason berth this year.
Oh, there you go. Maple Leafs. All right, go Maple Leafs.
No, God, no. All right, well, that is the World Baseball Classic. So pretty cool stuff there. We've got this one here for you, Jeff. You asked for this specifically.
I did?
You ask and you shall receive. So these are the Cavender twins. If you don't know who the Cavender twins are.
Most people do not, but they're starting to learn very quickly.
Super popular. I didn't go back and look, Jeff, but they've got something like 4 million followers on TikTok. Let's walk through this here. So the girls started off, let me go my mouse up here, this top left picture. So they were highly recruited out of high school, right? I mean, they were a package deal. You're going to get both of them. They wound up going to Fresno State. So the Bulldogs down here played for them, had a pretty rough season, right? But they're very marketable girls. And so with the new NIL deals, which I'll have you jump in on here in a second, They signed a $2 million deal with Boost Mobile. Okay, that's Ryan Reynolds' Boost Mobile. Oh no, that's not Ryan. He was Mint. Okay, so you've got Boost Mobile signed them $2 million deal. Well, then after that, they put in a little tweet that says, "Hey, you know, we're going to enter the transfer portal. You know, they didn't have a good year in Fresno State, so they go to the University of Miami. And if you've been around for the last 40 years, you know the University of Miami is a pretty hot school, right? Like, I mean." Some of the best players have gone there. Some of the most marketable players have gone there. There's a ton of money at the school. So the girls get to Miami, and then they have a dinner down here in the bottom right. They have a dinner with a booster. Okay.
Can't do
and
that.
that violates NCAA sanctions. And so the program was pretty much given a slap on the wrist. The coach was suspended for the first 3 games. I think there was a fine in there or something. So a lot of negative press around these girls. You know, they just went to Miami for more deals, you know, blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what, Jeff? They're actually pretty damn good basketball players, right?
Yep.
So they got another NIL deal, this time with Cactus AI. And there's other collegiate athletes like the LSU gymnast Livy Dunn. You've got the Alabama running back Jahmyr Gibbs. Like, They've signed a couple of these like really hot college marketable prospects, right? And so it's controversial because this is Cactus AI and these are college athletes. And so they're like, oh, well, now you're helping to promote plagiarism. You're helping to promote kids cheating on things, you know. So there was a lot of controversy about that a couple of days ago. And then it's updated since we did the slide, but like I said, these girls are pretty damn good basketball players, and so they knocked off the number 1 seed to get to the Sweet 16. And then Jeff, go ahead, I'll let you take
it. They won last night. They were ahead, then they fought back, and now they're going against LSU, big LSU game tomorrow. So
in the Elite Eight.
So let's dissect
not just pretty girls, right?
Yeah, let's dissect this a little bit. You said a whole bunch of words.
Yeah.
So first, you said a whole bunch of words. First of all, the transfer portal. What the hell is that? So in collegiate sports, you know, you go and play at a school and, you know, you do well, but your school is not doing well. And you want to go to the March Madness. You want to go to a championship game. You just want to be on a better team. So the NCAA has what's called the transfer portal. This is not basketball. This is huge right now. If anybody follows college football,
it's every sport, right?
It's every sport. That's right.
It's collegiate.
Right. It's every sport. So you mostly hear about a lot of football players, and now you're hearing more about baseball or basketball.
Especially quarterbacks.
You don't hear a lot about volleyball. You don't hear a lot about the others, but it does exist. And so you can then go into this portal to basically change teams, to change schools. And that's what these ladies did. And then the NIL, you were using a lot of acronyms. That stands for name, image, likeness. And if you want a deep dive on NIL, go back to my channel, look for the business of, where I talk with Peter at length about the NIL. And in funny on that episode, Purple Haze was in the chat and she asked about women. And he said they have the biggest upside because they're young, they're mostly attractive, they're an advertiser's dream. That's what they want. And so these young ladies, not only are they good at their sport, but they're, I guess some people would say they're attractive. Sure, whatever. If you're into that kind of thing, you know, and very marketable. Between that 18 to 32 men, you know, geographic. That's what.
There's 14-year-old boys looking at these girls like, yeah.
Yeah, but from a marketer, you're looking at, you know, right? So
people that are spending money.
People that are spending money, people have money to spend. And so, the AI companies, a year ago, if we were doing this show, we would have said they would have been signing with FTX. And we would have been look what FTX is doing with these ladies. It's not quite, you know. So, they're signing with the mobile companies and they're signing with the AI companies and et cetera, right?
I think
David says, what's wrong with dinner? The NCAA has a number of stupid rules. And you know, you can't take, like, if I gave them a pen, we would all get in trouble because they took something that has a monetary. The NCAA has really, as an American and a Canadian, we're just like, what the hell is wrong with you people? What is wrong with the NCAA? And you know what? It's only been a couple of years about this whole NIL stuff. Before they were like, they're our property. We're going to make the money off them. And finally the Supreme Court said, yeah, no. You know what? These kids should be able to make money off their own likeness.
Who was the best player at the Ohio State Pro Day the other day? It was Marvin Harrison Jr.
Marvin Harrison, and he's not even coming out,
and he's not even eligible.
Not even eligible next year
because he has to be 3 years removed from high school now. That's the rule.
Correct
for football.
That's correct.
But they said he was dominating the pro day.
He was.
And who's
the CJ, and he was doing a whole.
Who's the wide receiver that's going in the draft from Ohio State? Who's the speedy guy? I can't think of his name right now. It's like two names. It's like not.
Smith, not.
Yeah. He's not even better than Marvin Harrison Jr. They're saying, but he's going to be probably the first receiver drafted this year. So crazy the rules. I was saying that because you were talking about all the rules. So Anyway,
Williams has lots of cheek cutting corners in every aspect of life.
I saw that.
So
I think it's pretty cool though that. When you look at these things, a lot of people could say, oh, well, these girls are, they were handpicked. They're being groomed, they get opportunities. But I think the thing that impresses me the most is that they're not just doing it and taking the money and like just trying to be cute. They're actually really good basketball players. And you think back to tennis, who's probably the most famous beauty icon in tennis? Anna Kournikova, right?
Mm.
But she sucked at tennis. But she stayed around for like 10 years because she was gorgeous. And she was on every cover of like Sports Illustrated, that they could find her on. So I like the fact that these girls are actually good. And if they continue to push through and get to the Final Four, even the championship, what do you think that's going to do for their money?
Ooh.
Holy hell. So anyway, Cavender twins.
Well, and they moved to Miami too, because that's where all the young people want to go. It's not no offense to Fresno. No, I've never been to Fresno. I've been to Miami though. I would, if I had the choice, I'd go to Miami. Now, Florida's got a lot of stupid rules. Florida also has no income tax.
No income tax, baby.
And leaving California, and so the money they're making now. And again, if you want to know about sports tax, my business with the sports tax with Robert. Got to go watch that. You'll learn all about why, they're actually going to make more money than they would in California with the same deal because of taxes.
Hey, good for these kids. I was somebody that was on a soapbox for a long time saying that it's crazy how the colleges can, profit off of these kids' likeness and names. So I'm all for this. I would like to see it get spread out a little bit more.
Fun fact. EA is obviously coming up with a college game. They've delayed it a year because they're still trying to figure out how they're going to do this. They're still trying to get, not only are they trying to get the assets from all the schools for fight songs and opening songs and touchdown songs and all of that, but how are they going to deal with these? Because they're going to put these kids in these video games.
Yeah, their names are going to be in there. They used to just be the number.
Their names and their images and their likenesses, and now they've got to pay these kids. So, it's been delayed another year till 2024. It may get delayed again just because while they try to figure this out.
A lot of red tape there. A lot of red tape.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm all about making the money. You guys all know this. I'm all about making the money. So if they can do this.
Good on these girls. Maybe my son can holler at them in a few years.
Maybe your daughter can get an NIL deal.
My daughter actually got reached out to by some North Carolina pageant thing. They've asked her to come and compete in pageants, and I'm like, no, we're not doing this. No way.
Yeah.
So, all right, Cavender twins. Awesome. What are we moving on to next? We've got
the biggest news.
This is Jeff's news right here.
This is the biggest news in our community, in the JMG gaming community. We moved from JMG Sports to JMG Gaming. This was the biggest news of the week, and it was met by, in some cases, fanfare. In other cases, it was like, eh. And a lot of cases, it was like, boo. And I'm
have you tried it yet?
I have not.
Okay.
I have not.
Well, I guess first off, what happened? Everybody that's watching this probably knows, but Luna has now expanded out, right? So you've got Canada, Germany, and the UK coming into the fold here. 3 big international markets that, if you're wondering why these 3 were picked, Jeff,
because Amazon has 3 huge data centers, multiple
Pretty
data
much.
centers in that. So it was probably for them to roll it out. And I said this in our Discord this week. For them to do it, you know how long it takes to spin up a new server in AWS?
Years.
I can probably do it in under a minute. So
years, Jeff. You stop lying.
For them to spin it up in the 3 data centers, and actually Amazon has more than 1 data center in Canada. I assume it's got multiple in these countries. So, you
probably have 1 per territory, to be quite honest.
Shout out to William. He said, they were probably looking at their monthly users and daily active users, because that's what all tech companies look at, right? DAUs, MAUs. Saw the numbers going down, and I went, well, let's roll it out to these countries. They've been nagging for it. We'll get a lot of uplift from all the content creators, and to be honest, And to be honest, that's, I'm sure, who's going to be playing it. It's going to be guys men and women trying to make content for it. And you know what? Now, good on them. So, I noticed that Amazon Luna did reach out to our good friend, Mr. Scar, and say, hey, because he has an open invitation to come to Canada. They said, yeah, we'll come. So I will be then following up on that, going, so when are you coming? Am I invited? Do I get to come? When is this happening? Because we all know they're full of shit and they're not going to do it. But I'm going to hold their feet to the fire, and I'm just going to keep going. When are they coming? When are they coming? Are you coming? You said you were coming. When? Because I can be quite annoying.
I'm not gonna air my dirty laundry, Jeff. But Amazon Luna,
you got your thing.
Me.
Yeah.
No.
And I know I could use my Stadia controller, but I looked at the sale price for an Amazon controller.
We'll get there.
We're not there yet.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there.
All right. So I'm new, obviously new to Canada. What are the services? What can we play?
Yep. So I've actually played Luna. I've played it recently. I played it about a month ago, if you want to call that recently. In my opinion, it is just as stable as Stadia was. It's almost like playing. It feels like how I was playing Stadia, right? But there's some downfalls. There's some downfalls. You don't have the friends list. You don't have the chat. You don't have some of the features that really made Stadia cool for a lot of us. With Luna, though, they have a really cool feature called couch co-op. And so somebody doesn't even have to have a Luna account, and you can send them a link and they can come in and play with you. And so I think on the show we used to do, right? I think we did that one of the episodes, and we were playing like the racing game. And I mean, it's cool. It was seamless. It worked really, really great. I don't own the Luna controller, but people have said that it's one of the best controllers out there. So, there are positives, but here's where it breaks down, where I start to lose interest. $9.99 a month.
Yep.
Prime in the US is
$12.99 in Canada.
$140 a year for Amazon Prime to be able to get, a couple of games. $17.99 a month if you want to do Ubisoft Plus.
Yep.
$4.99 a month if you want to do Jackbox games. So now, as I look at this, I'm sitting there at about what, Jeff? $50 a month.
Now,
where's my Call of Duty? Where's my sports games? Where's my, if I'm paying $50 a month, I want everything.
Crow Resin, friend of the show, will tell you that he owns several Ubisoft games, and he can play them through Ubisoft Connect. So you don't need the monthly subscription. If you bought the games on Stadia and got refunded, yay! And now you own them. You still own them. They're in your Ubisoft Connect. You can play them for free, which he does. Yep. So. There's that.
And there are a lot of games in here that we had on Stadia that people used to say, things about, and it was cool then, it's not cool now. Like, look, all these things are not for everybody. And if you are in the Amazon ecosystem, then this is perfect for you, right? You got Fire Sticks, you do everything through Amazon, you got Fire tablets, great, rock and roll.
Yeah.
But I'm still not sold on multiple subscriptions for a platform.
I'm big on cloud gaming. I'm still big on cloud gaming. If they had come out, so the day after my birthday, when Stadia was announced, if they came out the next day and said, guess what? We're rolling out to these 3 countries in a couple of months, or however long, they decided to take them, right? Then, I probably would have, I might have been more excited, but it's been a year and they're like, oh, here, you guys want a little carrot? You guys can play our games now. Now, sure, they're bringing 4 new games in April, and they lost a whole bunch of games a couple months ago. So,
I guess I've got a little bit more of an issue with Amazon behind the scenes, Luna behind the scenes. Sure. And it's a lot like Stadia was with Google. All right, I didn't say I said I wasn't going to air my dirty laundry, but I got told that I was going to get sent something almost 2 months ago. You mean to tell me that the people that work at Luna can't call up an Amazon warehouse somewhere and through their internal processes say, hey, take this address, throw this in a box and ship it out? And you and I have talked about this, and that's probably not how it works for them because Luna's a subsidiary of Amazon and yada, yada, yada. But it's been over 2 months, Jeff. You'd think that sending something, if you offer something to somebody, would not take that long. So I've got some issues with Luna on the back end for reasons like that, for reasons that Amazon has made games and they're not available on Luna. How do you have your own damn games and they're not even on your own platform?
I can go into 20 minutes on technical reasons why, and different cost centers and different marketing teams and all sorts of different things. But
Stadia worked with, SG&E in the beginning there, and they came out with a couple of games in the beginning. Had they not released a game that they created on Stadia, what do you think that would have done? would have been people like melting in the street, right? So if you're gonna use it against one, you got to use it against all. And I'm just not sure I'm sold on multiple subscriptions to enjoy a platform.
Yep.
It does allow you to be, I guess, selective. It does give you options, but I guess I want it all, so I'm greedy.
I understand.
But you were saying earlier about the controller, right? And so
yeah, I know. Crow Resin will say you can use your Stadia controller. It works great because that's what he does. But you can. I'm just saying.
You've got $90 to spend on a controller. Is this like an Xbox Elite controller for $90? Like, what the heck is this? Now this is Canadian, right? $89.99 Canadian.
Yes.
Okay.
It is Canadian money. Canadian pesos.
Well, I salute you, Jeff. If you're going to buy a $90 controller, I hope it works.
I'm a limited gamer, so I'm not.
I've heard great things about it, man. Like, I really want to try it. I really want to hold it because it's got those rubber grips on the outside, and heard people say it's just really well put together. And the Xbox controller is my favorite controller. I'm not a big PlayStation controller guy. And so this is set up like an Xbox controller with the offset joysticks. And so I feel like I'd really like it, but I ain't paying $90 for a controller. Shit, it's hard enough paying $69.99 for the Xbox controllers. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yep.
All right, Luna expansion. Go grab it. Let us know what you think.
Yep.
There you go. This one excites you, Jeff.
Yeah.
This is your friend Bard.
It is. It is.
What is Bard AI, Jeff?
So everyone's talking about everyone's talking about the whole Chat GPT. Some of us are kind of sick and tired of the Chat GPT. They integrated into Bing. I never used Bing before. I'm not going to use it now because it's got Chat GPT built in. There are people that use Chat GPT for every aspects of their lives, from writing everything to nothing. And Microsoft bought them because they were a project of OpenAI. Microsoft invested in them, didn't buy them, invested in them. They're now incorporating into everything. You're going to see it in Office and PowerPoint soon. And so this is Google's answer to it. And I have a couple of points I want to make, and then I have descending points on my points. I'm going to say, if you're trying it today, compare it to when ChatGPT version 1 came out. So you're doing apple-to-apple comparison. Now, others will say, no, I want to compare the two today. I want to compare Bards and its answer to ChatGPT version 4 today. If I'm buying a car, I don't want to know what the car is going to be like next year. I want to compare the two cars. So, it's you have to decide for yourself if one or the other is going to work for you. I haven't tried it because it's not available in Canada, but we'll get to that in a minute.
Well, it's getting a lot of bad press. It's getting a lot of bad press. And so I just did a quick Google search.
MKHD did not. No. MKBHD. The cat YouTuber, he didn't have a few good things to say about it.
Well, you do a quick search on Google, and you're going to come up with a bunch of articles that are pretty much making fun of it, trashing it. Google's AI chatbot Bard seems boring. Say what, Bard? What Google's new AI gets right and wrong. There's people that have asked it questions, and it's actually plagiarized them, and then it is actually apologized after they've said that it's been caught, right? So it's pretty cool, I guess, how people are testing it out. And so I actually was invited to be a tester of it about a week and a half ago. And so I've been using it a little bit here and there. And for the show, I decided to say, hey, why is Coffee Talk with Ryzak and Jeff the best talk show on YouTube? And its answer was pretty funny. It says, there's no one-size-fits-all answer to this question, as the best talk show on YouTube is subjective and depends on individual preferences. However, there are a few reasons why Coffee Talk with Ryzak and Jeff may be considered by some the best talk show on YouTube. First, the show is hosted by two likable, engaging personalities, Ryzak and Jeff. Look at that, Jeff. Somebody said something nice about you for once. They have a great...
But it's wrong.
They have a great rapport with each other and their guests, and they are able to make even the most mundane topics seem interesting. Second, the show has a wide range of topics that it covers, from sports to current events to gaming. There's something for everyone to enjoy. The hosts are knowledgeable about their topics and are able to provide insightful commentary. Third, the show is well produced. Kudos to you, Jeff. You're doing it all right there from the podcast corner. The audio and video quality are excellent, and the show is edited in a way that keeps the pace moving. Overall, Coffee Talk with Ryzak and Jeff is a well-rounded and entertaining talk show that is sure to appeal to a wide audience. And Bard, I could not agree with you any less. And then you nailed it, right? It's not available for you yet in Canada. So I have to ask you a question. Canada is a part of North America, right? Like we're pretty much the same infrastructure. So why does everything always come to you guys like way down the line?
Oh, I was late with the reaction. Available in the US and the UK. My guess is because of our language. They probably have to finish building out some translations for it.
Because French is the number one.
Well, people in Quebec will say it is, but yes.
Yeah.
So it is one of our two national languages. Everything has to be in both languages, so they're probably still fine-tuning that.
Well, I'm sure there's some challenges in coding around that stuff. So because you can't say the same thing the same way in different languages, right?
Yeah.
For the most part. So, well, Bard AI, I'm sure we're going to hear a lot more about this guy because whether good or bad, it's going to be here. David's sick and tired of it.
David is very sick and tired of it.
I think it's interesting. Yeah. It's going to be difficult because kids are going to probably use this for school and whatever. I mean, they already are. Let's be honest. But I think it's pretty neat. Sometimes I'll get stumped on things and I'll ask it a question and I won't take exactly what it says, but I'll use pieces of it. And I've asked it to help me make like sayings for when I'm doing the announcing for the soccer and the lacrosse games. Like I've had it help me make like a little thing to say about the concession stands or, little thing to say about this and that. So it's pretty cool. Did you guys hear about the chocolate factory explosion in Pennsylvania? No. Was that Hershey?
I did.
Did the Hershey factory explode?
It did not make it into the Google Doc. But I did.
Did Willy Wonka sabotage Hershey?
Mm-hmm.
I have to look at that one, Sierra. I didn't.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy week. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Did you hear about that? Would have been a great story for this segment here, Jeff. World Athletics tightens rules on transgender women athletes. So if you've been under a rock for the past couple of years, there have been a couple of female athletes, both in swimming and in track and field, that have won under scrutiny because they were born as a man, as a guy, as a X chromosome, a Y chromosome. What are the differences there?
They're born with a different gender than they performed under.
Gender, yes, that's what I was looking for. Thanks, Jeff. You're always the astute host.
Yeah.
So I guess what they're saying in here is that if you went through puberty as a boy, you cannot compete in women athletics in college and in the world. So I said college, it's the world. So this is like the Olympic stage, right? So if you went through puberty, if your dingleberries dropped and your voice got deep, you're not playing in women's sports on the international stage.
Yep.
It's a big topic right now, man. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's a tough topic for some. Some people are very emotional about it. Some really could care less. But I think that the ones that I'm listening to the most are the actual females that they're competing against. You know, how would you like, Jeff, if you were a female and I dress as a female, and then we compete in a sport and you've been, doing so great and you set the world record for women, but I beat you by a second.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, but as we talked about before, I remember if it was last week or the week before about the UFC people beating, it's just going to make them better. It's just going to make everybody train harder. It's going to make everybody get better. So
I'm ready to see
right now, but I think in the long term, I think it's going to make everybody that much better.
I'm ready to see the Cabbage twins take on LeBron in a skirt.
There you go.
That's all I'm saying. I'm ready for it.
Oh, so, you're saying be careful.
Yeah.
Hey, nothing is off limits.
We know. All right, here we go. T-Mobile acquires Ryan Reynolds' Mint Mobile in a $1.35 billion deal. Jeff, you know a lot about advertising. I'm sure you have seen Ryan Reynolds' advertisements on LinkedIn and things of that nature. He tries to bring his comedy in, and they're quite funny, right? My question to you is this. Do you think if Ryan Reynolds was not a part of Mint Mobile, this deal would have gone through?
Yes, because T-Mobile wanted that low cost. They wanted to have that. It's only getting more press because it's him.
Correct.
Now, fun fact, not available in Canada.
Okay.
It's an American only thing. Again,
Mint Mobile's only American?
Yeah.
Really? So you have a Canadian owner that only made an American phone?
Well, because we have whole different rules up here. So
FCC rules, things like that.
Yeah. So so he could not bring it up here for that. Now, in terms of Ryan Reynolds, this is not his first business he's founded and gotten rid of. He had the vodka
or the gin or whatever it was.
Yeah, this is his third or fourth one. So that's what he does. I know I hear he wants to buy the Ottawa Senators, which is, again, fine. But
he's got Wrexham.
He does for now.
There's the Wrexham Football Club. Well, I guess they're going to have a big. They're going to have a big match here soon, and one of the Brits that's here can correct me, but I think it's like Chelsea or Arsenal. One of those big teams is supposed to be playing Wrexham, who's like a third-tier team. So that's like a really big deal in the football world. Yeah. So pretty cool.
You know what? They do it. No, and they're capitalizing. If it wasn't him, none of that would succeed. I still think they would have bought them out. Even if it right, but again, they wanted that low cost carrier. They wanted to have something in their arsenal. They wanted to have, they wanted to have, get people eventually to move. But if you can't afford T-Mobile, you wanted that low cost, cheaper alternative, then that's what they wanted to be able to have.
Well, and I think part of the deal too is that Ryan Reynolds he has an agreement with them to help with the marketing for a certain amount of time. I think that was part of the deal, because T-Mobile not only wanted Mint, but they wanted Ryan Reynolds for advertising. So
yeah,
be interesting to see how that gets incorporated.
Correct.
But he does really do a good job with that stuff. So
he does.
Smart guy.
Good
all right,
boy.
PAX East.
Yeah.
What's that?
Good Canadian boy.
Yeah, he is. Loves his mama too.
Yep.
PAX East. We talk about PAX West a lot. We hear about PAX West. Well, PAX East is going on this weekend.
Right now,
there's
live.
Right now. There's some really cool things that are going on at PAX East. There's some really cool game dev tables that are set up. Jeff, I tagged you in one the other day about a hockey RPG game. The guy is Canadian. That's making the game. So pretty cool there. But one of the biggest things that's coming out of PAX East and all the news this week is that Unreal Engine, right? They've been showing videos for that like crazy.
Yeah, they had a bunch of big stuff at the Game Developers Conference, which we talked about last year. They've got stuff going on in this year. The stuff that they're doing, if you haven't, go and Google the Unreal Engine demos that they've put out. And some of them, and they got, guy on stage just, dynamically changing stuff.
Did you see the one where the girl's face was, they like did the scan of her face and then they brought half of it over and then they went back. It was like, holy shit, that thing is fast.
Yeah,
it does it fast. So
yeah, they were using good fast processors, obviously, and they've got
it's set up for a demo. You know that.
Oh, of course, of course, it's all been staged and stuff has been pre-rendered and to make it go right. But as you know, I do have a relationship with many devs, and some of them are some of them are at GDC, some of them are here. So there's gonna be lots of cool things. Everyone and see, even with Stadia, everyone talked about the big AAA games. Everyone's the AAA games. Where's the AAA games? And you know what? And I play a lot of indie games. I developers reach out and say, hey, will you play my game? And I do. And the finger clapping game and the spider game that I played. So there's gonna be a lot more of that over the next few months.
I play a ton of mobile games, Jeff.
Once they have something.
Mobile games are basically the equivalent of indie computer console games. I mean, and what kills me is the people that come out and they're like, "Oh, you're not a real gamer if you don't just play Call of Duty and Madden." Like, come on, man. You're a gamer if you play Monopoly board game. Like,
no, it's all Counter-Strike now. Counter-Strike 2 came out. It's all Counter-Strike 2.
Oh, I'll play Counter-Strike 2.
It's all Diablo. Everyone's playing they did it last weekend. They're doing it again. Everyone's playing the Diablo 4. David's
and here I am over on my
Robert
phone. I was just getting ready to bring it up. All I'm doing over here this week in between sporting events is I'm playing Mighty Doom, which is a brand new game on my phone. It's like a level after level that you just unlock, but it has a lot of the cool Doom things in there where you go in for the assassination kills to get your health back, and you actually have like the death sequences. It's really cool little mobile game, and so I get caught up in that for 30 45 minutes. It's a ton of fun. Think about the guys that were playing Marvel Snap, and I think Joe is going back and It's Just Joe is going back and doing Clash Royale now as a focus on his channel, which has been a game that I've loved too. So it's just, games are everywhere and you enjoy them how you want to enjoy them. Who the hell cares who makes the game? That's why I sent you that thing of that guy, because I was reading through his profile. I was reading through what he's doing. I mean, everything is when these guys make these games by themselves, I find that fascinating, and I love to see their passion and their care about their creativity, and I want to help them as well. I think it's like with Jackie and Killer Queen Black. I mean, we were really in there and trying to help promote and do it. It felt good, I mean, it's just small dev. So
No, 100%. Jackie's no longer with Liquid Bit. She's got a new job going on. So if you don't follow her on the socials, then you may not know that. But yeah. And Liquid Bit has a new golf game they're working on. Just trying to find a publisher. Once they can find a publisher, they'll be Ray's here, Nerds World's here. Awesome.
What up?
Thank you guys for joining.
Coffee in his hand, join ya. Clink.
There you go, Unreal Engine.
There's the picture of the Unreal Engine tweet. They've got the public beta now. So they've got this editor in there for Fortnite using the Unreal Engine 5, right? So you can go in and create maps and create things in Fortnite, and that's kind of how they're running the test for it. So pretty cool stuff. It looks sick. I mean, it looks sick. So excited to see what that will do for gaming going forward. And considering that Unreal Engine is owned by Epic and Rocket League is now also owned by Epic, I really hope that they're going to push a new model of Rocket League with this Unreal Engine 5.
Well, they just released, the Fortnite Creative, so you can now build out
that's this, right?
Fortnite worlds.
Yep.
And it's cross-platform, which means you'll be able to build something and bring it into your own game. So if you have a game, you could then have a Fortnite version, so people can play it in Fortnite. They can play your game because it's all Unreal Engine, right? So
I was reading a little bit more about that.
It's going to be very simple.
They have something like 4 million or 40 million worlds that have been created already, and they find that 40% of the playtime in Fortnite right now is made on those creative maps.
Mm-hmm. Would make sense. Why would you want to keep playing the same boring, stupid place when you can go and every match you can go play somewhere else, right?
Yep. And it's cool because it makes the game fresh again, right? They do a really good job of that, pushing out like a freshness of the game to get the hype back up. So
they do.
Crazy. All right. This one, I threw this one in here just because the NIT is, if you don't make the March Madness, right? If you don't make the NCAA tournament, you can make the NIT, which is it's another end of the season tournament, but it's on a lower level. The teams that maybe weren't as strong throughout the year. Well, on the women's side, Bowling Green and Memphis play this game the other day, and they get in the handshake line. And the women's basketball here has had a couple of handshake line incidents here recently. There was the upset the other day where the girl got in her face in the line and she pushed her out of the way and just kept going. And then in this game, one of the girls just absolutely sucker punched another one in the handshake line. So not sure what's going on in women's basketball right now, but it's violent out there, man.
Yeah, well, emotions get high after a game. So yeah.
They're not probably going to get an NIL deal like the Cavender twins, but maybe the UFC or one of these companies that it's about fighting can reach out, get them a little money.
I'm sure Dana White has already. Has already reached out to them.
Oh, it might be his daughter.
So
you alluded to this earlier, Jeff. No more number ones in the tournament because the number one country or the number one team in the country is now bounced. San Diego State sent Alabama home last night in the Elite Eight, and so I thought that this was the perfect tweet to share. Mm-hmm. They go home now.
Yep.
This has been a thing for Alabama, though. If you read a little bit more into it, they do very well during the regular season, but they cannot break through in the tournament. And so now people are starting to point fingers back at the coach. I will say this. I love stats. I love sports stats. And when your number one player in the country, when your top player on your team, top player in your conference, the leader of your team, the guy that has all the headache around him right now because of the football player that shot the girl and he apparently got the gun and this and that. When he shoots 19%, that ain't the coach's fault.
Well, you know what?
Coach's fault.
Well, you know what? When Duke lost last weekend, it was very evident they were tired. it's a long season, and a lot of these teams have just finished a big, tough, championship tournament, and they go from that, then they're right into this. They often will play Saturday, Sunday, and then they're back to a Thursday game.
And they were cruising too, and if you don't play, if you don't have somebody smack you in the mouth every once in a while, you get a little complacent.
You do. 100%.
So
yeah, I think the teams that are winning are the teams that, the stamina
are playing together,
and they're playing together, and
bench points are huge when it comes to the tournament. But not only bench points, but all of the hustle stats that come off the bench too, the steals, the rebounds, the blocks, the limited turnovers. So, it is it's a deep game, and it doesn't just take one person to win it. But
there was a game the other night. They didn't get their first bench points until halfway through the second half. It's like, you just can't do that, right?
So I don't have it on here, but I wanted to highlight the best game of the tournament so far was the Gonzaga game the other night.
That is true. That was crazy. That was absolutely, because I tweeted out the guy hit the three.
Yeah, from like the logo. Yeah.
From the logo.
And there was 7 seconds left.
Yeah.
Like, why are you shooting that shot with 7 seconds left?
Yep. And that's farther than an NBA three. And he drained it.
And then they come back down, and then they get the steal. And
then they had a foul, and then that was it. But
Yep. Yeah. So,
but
cool.
We're like, okay, Zags are gonna win. All right. Oh, wait, no. Oh, UCA's got this. There's only 7. Oh, it's gonna be tough to do that. And then, why is he shooting? Oh my God, he made it. Oh my God. Yeah, there was a lot of emotion. You know what? And you know what?
Your team, Jeff. Your team won. FAU.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I've been following the boys at FAU. I have a buddy, Dave, who's a big hater, and I was chanting them, and he's like, dude, they're gonna get their asses kicked. Tennessee, they're not. He goes, I'm not even sure why they're playing the game. Easy win for Tennessee. Just move on. And then so I texted him and said, hey, when does Tennessee play on Saturday? Could you let me know? Could you let me know what time Tennessee plays?
Ouch.
And then he starts coming up with excuses and this, that. And I'm like, they lost. Because when, one of the teams I say is going to win, lose, he comes back with these big, long essays about it. And it's just like, goes, oh, you don't know sports. You don't know basketball because you picked the Duke to win. And all your number ones are gone.
Right.
And apparently, I saw this morning or last night. They're in the ESPN 20 million brackets. One bracket had this Elite Eight. The rest of it was just, gone, so they don't get $1 billion.
They don't get the perfect bracket credit.
They do not. But
I was doing good for my Final Four until Alabama and Tennessee lost.
Somebody had predicted this. So,
well, one more or two more, I guess we've got big news coming out this week about Xbox, the CMA, Blizzard Activision deal, Sony. It finally appears to be over, thank goodness, because I'm just really tired of hearing about it. Let's all move on. Let's play nice in the sandbox, and there's enough market share out there for everybody. So, I'm sure everything is going to be just fine. This has been talked about a lot, so I don't know if we really need to.
No.
And then this one, you sent this over to me.
I sent this to you. I didn't even. This wasn't even for the show. This is
just good for me. It's good for me, because when we heard about the trade, I was very critical, and I said, I'm not sure how this is going to work out because Luka's a player that needs the ball in his hand. And now you're going to have Kyrie come in, who's a player that needs the ball in his hand. So how are you playing them together? And they've been losing more than they've been winning. It's pushing them further and further out of the playoff chances. And Luka goes through this interview after the game last night, and I tell you, it made me want to cry. I wanted to cry when I was watching this morning. This guy looks completely defeated. They were like, well, what do you think the problem is? He's like, I don't know. They're like, well, what do you think we can do to fix it? Win. Well, what do you think is the main catalyst of the struggles? I don't know. It's just like, oh my God, poor guy. So more to come out of Dallas, I'm sure, about this. Jeff, I know you got a hard stop today. So
I
we
do.
need to
I do. Unfortunately,
I
got to take Biggle Mac to an appointment. And then my afternoon, just got a message. My afternoon meeting got canceled because of the crappy weather. So
you got some time back now.
I do. So it looks like I'm going to be able to F1 with Dismal and the big Dismal, the Dismal Dandroid League. So if you're into F1, then let Dismal or Dandroid know we are starting it today. It looks like I'm going to be able to play it.
All right, well, let's go through your 5 guesses here. I told you I had a good one for you this week, and hopefully I don't disappoint. Jeff, your 5 guesses this week are going to be around the top gaming accessories, peripherals of all time.
Oh, God, this is getting.
And I'll give you a little bit more than that. This list was put together by Destructoid, if you know who Destructoid is.
I do not.
Okay, so it's
gaming
a gaming
peripherals,
gaming news article.
So peripherals. So I want to say the joystick because I'm old.
Nope, that's not on here.
Oh, that sucks. It should.
But I will give you. I will give that to you, Jeff, because they have the fight stick on here, which was the big pad with the buttons and the joystick. Okay. So I'll give it to you. The fight stick was number 2.
Okay. All right. I want to say, and I need a wheel sponsor. I want a wheel for my driving games.
The wheel is not on here.
What the hell?
No man. No,
okay,
sir.
when I say wheel, I also mean the cockpit. So I'm all right. I'm all right. So when I say wheel, I also mean the cockpit accessories. If you're doing the flight sim, if you're doing the flight simulator, the big flying thing, if you're doing that, the Microsoft Flight Sim, have you seen the videos of those guys that got the big truck and the big, that's what I mean. I don't mean just the actual wheel. I mean the pedals or the gear, that whole, any of that on there?
Yeah. No, none of that. That was a long explanation to get a no. No, that's not. So.
Going back to my old Nintendo days, the Power Glove.
I would think that the Power Glove would be on here, but it's not.
Oh my God, what the fuck is?
I know, right? There's another one that really shocks me as well.
What the hell
you're
is
probably
on
gonna
this?
Guess.
What the hell is on this stupid list? What is it? Something? It can't be just something like the controller, because that's just.
It's not just the controller. No.
Is it something? Is it like wireless controller or something? Because
it's not that granular. No, it's more like add-ons, right? It's more add-ons than just gameplay.
And not the wheel.
Yep.
Not my Power Glove.
What was something that was really popular in the 80s and early 90s, Jeff, that helped you get through games?
Oh, what the books, the cheat books?
Not the books.
The phone numbers?
There was something you could put on your console, and then you could put the game in that, and it gave you the ability to do everything in the game that you didn't want to do.
I forget what you call that.
It's the Game Shark.
The Game Shark, yeah,
or Game Genie, or
we never really had those. We never had those much in Canada. Things like that.
That was number 10.
That was number 10. Oh my God.
That was number 10. And I know you're not looking at the chat, but Ray is killing this thing over here.
Is he? I know. I turned the chat off. I turned the chat off during this.
Yep. One of the things that Ray said it's not on the list is the game mat. You remember the trackpad for Nintendo?
Yeah.
I would have thought that would have been on here, but it is not.
What about the thing where you put the overlay over the screen back in the olden days, so you
for the 3D?
That? Yeah.
Yeah. No, not on here.
All right.
I'll give you one more guess, Jeff. One more guess, and then we got to wrap you up.
God, I don't know.
Think about music, Jeff.
Oh, like the kit, the drum, and the music instruments from the
Guitar Hero Rock Band.
Guitar Hero Rock Band stuff.
Number 4 on the list. Yep.
Wow. All right. Let's open up the chat and see.
Those are all good guesses.
Let's see.
So let's go down from 10. Okay. So number 10 was the Game Shark, Game Genie, or Action Replay, whichever one you got to use. Number 9 is the PlayStation Move controller, the one with the big ball.
I got one of those. Oh, I got one of those right down there.
Number 8 is the Kinect. He got it. Xbox Connect. That was number 8. Number 7 was the DDR pad, the Dance Dance Revolution pad, and that's specific because it's for that game. So
I really wish, Ray, that was one of the 5 guesses.
Number 6 is the Taiko drum, and I had to look this up. There's a game called Taiko no Tatsujin, and it's like a beat game that's around like anime tunes, and you have a plastic drum that you have to hit at the beats like a bongo. So that was in there. Number 5 was the Wii Motion Plus controller, Jeff. From the Nintendo Wii. The 4 was Rock Band Hero Guitar Hero Rock Band accessories. Number 3 was the Game Link cable for the Game Boy, so you could play local multiplayer with your Game Boy. Number 2 was the Fight Stick, which I gave you because you said joystick, and that was pretty much what it is. And number 1, I don't know how this is number 1. How is the Duck Hunt gun not number 1? It's not even in the top 10. How's the Duck Hunt gun not in here? Number 1 is the PlayStation VR that just came out. How the hell is that possible?
Well, the VR2 came out. The VR came out.
Oh, the VR2. Okay, all right, there you go.
VR2 came out. VR came out before.
That's it. That's your top 10 of the list. So I'm shocked that Duck Hunt gun is not on there, because that was like one of the coolest. The Power Glove, right? Like we've talked about that on Retro Rewind. You guys have beat that story up, how it really wasn't anything that helped you. So anyway, I thought that was pretty interesting, because I had a lot of things that were not on that list. So there you go, Jeffy. You did it. 5 guesses with Jeff. Ray, you did a fantastic job.
Ray did the Zap gun counts.
Yeah, although, I think so.
I think so. It should be on there. I'm gonna have to put together my own stupid list.
Yeah, of peripherals.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put my own stupid list together. Yeah.
Anyways, Jeff, folks, you've got somewhere to be. I've got nowhere to be except for outside in the yard doing yard work today. My son is suffering from a concussion, so no hockey this weekend.
It's piss pouring rain. Is it still? Well, it's 2 degrees. We had a freezing rain warning for today, but it doesn't look like it's doing that. It's just like it's just piss pouring rain. So,
hopefully, so my afternoon after this next week, I'm going to be around a little bit more because the kids have spring break.
My afternoon plans got canceled, so I hope to be back by 1 Eastern, and I hope to be able to Formula One. I am crap at Formula One. I drive like an old man in the right lane. Most of the time, I have my blinker on. David.
Ray Sherrod, I'm here to tell you right now, I'll be there for Wreckfest tonight.
Ooh, Wreckfest! Don't forget Wreckfest at.
I'll be there for Wreckfest tonight. I'm coming.
You know what? Now that
feeling good.
Now that my plans got canceled, I might have a nap, and I might be able.
I don't have anything going on tomorrow now, so
I was supposed to be out all day. So
I'll stay up and we're going to breakfast.
Yeah. Right. Oh, and yes, you guys need to.
Please, I'm so sorry I missed you guys. I really, 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 really want to play that with you. So
I had fun watching them until they
maybe week after next.
Until Ray and Maker were going to go cuddle in the tent, and then I was like, I'm out. I'm tapping out. That's it. I'm tapping out. I can't watch these two cuddle in there. But maybe you guys gotta play that. It looks
definitely. I love it. I just haven't got to play a lot.
I was watching William chop up the trees.
Please be careful about what you say you were watching when you're going like this.
I was watching William do this on his OnlyFans. I mean, in the game. So,
brutal.
It was fun. But thanks everyone for watching.
Yes,
love the chat. Love everybody for being there. Love the disagreements around the top 10 peripherals from Duango, or who these dumbasses were that came up with.
It's pretty cool though. List. At one time there were 18 people watching, and I know 2 of those were actually real people. So
I know.
Congratulations, Jeff.
It's good. I know. I did a YouTube short yesterday, and I bought all 19 views. I paid for the 19 views. I'm going to admit. I'm just going to admit it. I bought the 19 views. Good night, folks. See you in the games
next week,
and in the games.